Hi friends, I'm back with another book by the same author, Sandra Markle, and the same illustrator, Howard McWilliam. And this one is What If You Had an Animal Nose? I hope you guys enjoyed the other two. I have 3 more of these, I think. I'm not sure I'll read all of them, but I think they're really cool. So let's get started. What if you had an animal nose? Let's see. Here's our first picture. What if one day when you woke up and looked in the mirror, the nose on your face wasn't yours? What if overnight a wild animal's nose took its place? All right, our first animal, the tapir. That looks like an interesting nose. If you had a tapir's snout, you could catch a home run ball even with your hands full. A tapir is a plant-eating animal with a very handy nose. Its nose moves and bends to grab leaves off a branch or push fruit into the tapir's mouth. A tapir's nose is joined with its upper lip, so like that. It bends and moves so well because it is made of muscle. Once a nose is that big and movable, it's called a proboscis. So a tapir has a proboscis for a nose. Tapirs mainly eat at night, so they bend their noses in all directions to sniff out food in the dark. You can bend it every way you want. Would you guys like to catch a ball with your nose? I think it might hurt a little bit. Cottontail rabbit. If you had a rabbit's nose, your twitching nose would show your school spirit. So I guess it would make you a good cheerleader. A rabbit's nose is packed with small sensors. That means they can detect things with their nose. Rabbit noses twitch for many different reasons. A rabbit wiggles its nose up and down to pull more air in when it sniffs. That helps it find food or tell when hungry hunters are close to it so it can hop to safety. A rabbit's nose twitches faster when it is interested or excited, sometimes as many as 120 times a minute. That's a lot. Rabbits have long, super sensitive whiskers on either side of their nose. These whiskers help rabbits feel if a space is big enough to squeeze through, even in the dark. I wonder, do you guys know another animal that uses its whiskers that way? If you do, type it up in the comments for me. An elephant. That looks like fun. If you had an elephant's trunk, you wouldn't need to go to a water park in the summer. That would be cool. An elephant's nose may be the most useful nose on the planet. It's so long and special it even has its own name, a trunk. An elephant's trunk can sniff smells from lots of directions, even from up high. It can lift and carry something as heavy as a big log. An elephant also uses its trunk to pull in water, as much as 2 gallons at a time. Then it sprays a drink in its mouth or gives itself a shower. The tip of an elephant's trunk works like fingers. It can pick up something as little as a peanut and pop it into its mouth. So not only can it carry huge logs with its trunk, but it can pick up something super tiny like a peanut. The grizzly bear. If you had a grizzly bear's nose, you could sniff out all your favorite goodies and only trick or treat at the best houses. That might be nice. Then I could only get Reese's. A grizzly bear's nose is packed with small sensors. No wonder this bear is a champ at tracking down food, sometimes from over a mile away. It needs to find and eat all the food it can before winter. That's when a grizzly bear goes into a deep sleep called hibernation and usually doesn't eat at all. Fun fact. I forgot to say fun fact for you guys. I'm sorry. The small sensing areas in a grizzly bear's nose are 100 times bigger than a human. There's a close-up of their nose. A warthog, like Pumbaa in The Lion King. If you had a warthog's nose, you would never need anything but your nose to build sandcastles. You wouldn't need a shovel or anything. You just use your nose. A warthog's nose isn't pretty, but it's the perfect food finder. First, the warthog uses its strong sense of smell to sniff out underground roots and bulbs it likes to eat. Then the warthog rolls its nose around to dig into soft soil, with some help from its tusks. So there's their tusks right there. Finally, the warthog uses its nose to lift dirt out of the hole until it finds the roots or bulbs to munch on. Fun fact. Warthogs greet each other with nose-to-nose bumps. Have you ever greeted anyone with a nose-to-nose bump? I don't think I have. I hope I am saying this right. A saiga? 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 If you had a saiga's nose, you would never notice when a room is dusty. That might be nice. A saiga is a sheep-sized antelope with a proboscis nose. Remember what a proboscis was? Its proboscis is lined with hairs and snotty mucus, making it perfect for filtering out dust. That's important because the saiga's homeland is often dry and dusty. Herds of saigas live together and kick up a lot of dust traveling in search of grass to eat. Fun fact. Some saigas live in parts of Russia where winters are super cold. The saiga's big nose heats up icy air as the saiga breathes in. Ooh, I wonder if my class remembers what other kind of animal does that. If you do, write it in the comments. Ooh, that's not a cute animal. The star-nosed mole. Kind of looks like an alien nose. If you had a star-nosed mole's nose, you could find a midnight snack without turning on the kitchen light. A star-nosed mole is a small, burrowing animal that uses its nose to find dinner in the dark underground, and sometimes even underwater. The star-nosed mole uses its nose to smell, but it also uses it to feel for food. Its nose has 22 fleshy rays around the nostrils. So there's a close-up of those right there. Kind of gross looking. These are always moving, and quick as a blink, the mole knows if its nose touches food, like a worm or an insect. Fun fact. To smell underwater, the star-nosed mole blows bubbles and then sniffs, pulling the air bubbles into its nose past its smell sensors. I mean, it might be cool to be able to smell underwater. Ooh, a rhinoceros. That might be interesting. If you had a rhinoceros's nose, you'd be the perfect bodyguard. No one's gonna get past you with that thing. A rhinoceros is the only animal with a horn on its nose. It's made up of layers of keratin. Remember where that comes from? The same stuff that human hair and fingernails are made of. Male rhinos use their horns to duel for mates. Females use theirs to guard their babies. Besides having a horn, a rhino's nose has a keen sense of smell. Remember, that means it can smell really, really well. To find leaves and fruit to eat. They can also sniff for enemies like lions. Fun fact. A baby rhinoceros isn't born with a horn, but one soon starts growing and never stops. So it's like your fingernails. A rhinoceros's horn never stops growing. There's a baby one right there. Ooh, interesting. The giant anteater. That looks pretty cool. If you had a giant anteater's nose, you could go scuba diving without a snorkel. That would be pretty cool. What looks like a giant anteater's long nose is really its upper and lower jaws joined together. So here's your jaw right here, upper, lower. And that's actually what the anteater's nose is. Its nose is on the tip of this long tube. The nose is perfect for poking into hard-to-reach places to sniff out yummy insects like ants and termites. A giant anteater also uses its long nose like a snorkel when it goes swimming, so it can breathe while underwater. Fun fact. When it smells insects, the giant anteater flicks its super long tongue in and out quickly, as many as 160 times a minute, and eats bugs by the thousands. Can you see the tongue right there? That's really long. I hope I say this right too. Boret's horseshoe bat. Oh, that's a really interesting looking nose over there. If you had a Boret horseshoe bat's nose, you could catch every fly that tried to spoil your picnic. There she is catching the fly right there. A Boret horseshoe bat's nose makes it a super nighttime bug hunter. Like other bats, a Boret's horseshoe bat hunts by snorting high-pitched noises out its nose and listening for echoes of anything around them. What's that called? Can you put it in the comments below if you know? But most bats shoot sounds in every direction at once. The shape of this bat's nose channels the sound so it can pinpoint exactly where to snag an insect. Fun fact. To save energy, a Boret horseshoe bat often hangs from a branch while snorting noises. When an echo signals an insect is nearby, the bat flies after it. So there's a close-up right there. It's a nose. Ooh, a hammerhead shark. That would be an interesting nose to have. I'm not sure how you would be able to see. Like, could you look down? If you had a hammerhead shark's nose, you would always know the best places to fish. A hammerhead shark's nose is only for smelling, not breathing. The shark swings its head side to side, forcing water into a nostril near each eyeball. Because its nostrils are so far apart, the shark can tell if a fishy scent is stronger to the left or to the right. Then it tracks down its dinner. Fun fact. A hammerhead shark can smell blood from wounded prey as far as a half-mile away. And there's a close-up of a real one right there. A wild animal's nose could be cool for a while, but you don't use your nose to spray water or dig in the ground. You don't need your nose to catch flies or to be a snorkel while you swim underwater. And you'll never grab anything with your nose, no matter what. So if you could keep a wild animal nose for more than a day, what kind would it be? What kind would be right for you? I think an elephant nose would be pretty cool. Luckily, you don't have to choose. The nose on your face will always be a people nose. It will be what you need to breathe and sniff all the scents around you. It's the perfect place to rest glasses if you need them to see better. Best of all, your nose is just what you need to look like you. And that is the end. So thank you for joining me again today. I hope you guys like the book. Stay tuned for more.